The topic for our GD is biggest culprit for recent air pollution in NCR and Haryana. In the starting, I would like to talk about the air pollution that is mostly the cause for the Delhi accidents and accident that are happening in the winter season. The air pollution in the Delhi NCR is mostly caused by the harvest period that from Haryana comes and the Diwali season in November, due to which crackers pollution spread all over the Delhi NCR region. In this period, the crops that are harvested in Haryana make the paddy crops make the blushing flow over the air pollution in Delhi NCR, and most of the Diwali periods that firecrackers were flown during the Delhi NCR region make the air pollution more honorable, intolerable for the people to relax there and make the polluted environment there. In this way, the conditions there are making worse and worse. So, in this way, we should initiate.
Okay, so as our friend Pratyaksh explained that the air pollution is a very severe problem in the Delhi NCR region, and it is basically mostly and the most important factor, which is the cause of this is stubble burning, which happens at this time because it is the time for harvest. And as you all know, that Delhi NCR and the region around that is a region which is bounded, and it comes in the Indo-Gangetic plains. So what happens is that the flow of air and the amount of pollutants are the are merged up at the time of winter, and the flow of air continues to be very slow, which happens to be the cause of not distributing the air pollutants, which gets trapped in the airshed of that region. So basically, airshed, as we all know, is the region in which the flow of air is same for all the region covered in it. And this is one of the most basic problem. And there also is the one which is related to vehicular pollution, which happens because of a large number of vehicles which are present in the Delhi NCR region, and they are causing the pollution. And the industry, the amount of industries around the NCR region is also very high. So the output through the industrial waste is also a very major problem. And these kind of things can be controlled, and we require to discuss about these things.
Yeah, my friend Aman says that's correct. Like in Delhi NCR region, there is more vast amount of population living. So due to this, like they use more and more vehicles and other resources. Like there is more factories and industries. So their residue waste and other things like due to vehicles, the air pollution is going rise and rise. Like due to several gases, CO2, NO2, and other things also. So, our government also applied some schemes to reduce this pollution, like OD1 vehicles in Delhi and other things. That will reduce some percentage of air pollution, like 5 to 10%, but not that much. It is also not that much good. So, we are going to take more steps. Our government is taking more steps.
I agree with your point. Also, one of the major reasons for air pollution right now is, as we know, that October and November is the months of withdrawal of the monsoon in India. So it creates a change in wind direction. Now, right now, the wind direction is northwesterly. So it brings the dust from northern Pakistan and Afghanistan to India. And also, Delhi is adjacent to Pakistan, so it creates air pollution in Delhi. And in winters, the direction of a wind is also changed, and there is a reduced wind direction. So in winters, there is a case of fog, so that's why the smoke and fog combines to make smog, and it is one of the major factors of air pollution in Delhi.
With this point, we know that India's population is very high, which is a major contributor to the air pollution. As we know, a large population needs a area to live. That's why the construction activities and demolition activities are going all the times in India, which produces dust. and garbage dumping and burning, and dust on the roads are the other major contributors in pollution.
Yeah, so
So
basically
as
yeah.
we as you friend said that air pollution, it is the contribution to major factors like vehicular emissions and constructional activities and meteorological conditions. We can say that the geographical area of Haryana and Delhi is such that the low wind speed traps the air pollutants, and it do not escape the environment. So all the pollutants of the stubble burned by our farmers kept trapped into the air.
Yeah, so basically, we all know that there were several schemes also launched by the center, and there were several measures which were taken for this particular point, taking this in consideration, like stubble burning, which we are talking about. So the outcome that was expected was not the met result, because when we are talking about stubble burning, it cannot be the only cause. Stubble burning. Why do you think that the stubble is burnt by the farmers at the time when the harvest is complete? It happens because the period and the amount of storage which is required for stubble is too much. It if we are talking about that it is rich in nutrients. I know that it is rich in nutrients, but it is not the case that it can be decomposed easily. So instead of finding another way, they prefer to burn it up at the same moment so that there is, a gap of they get the nutrients also, and also the amount they were covering up, it reduces.
Yeah, as my
Also,
friend
the
Aman said that stubble burning is the main cause of is a cause of air pollution, but it is the 50 to 60% of our air pollution in Delhi region. Like it's not the whole reason. Like other reasons are due to vehicle pollutions and industrial pollutions. Like farmers used stubble to burn because they don't have a proper means to store and transport it. Like they don't get any schemes and other things by government because it takes a lot of money to cut that stubble and you store it or you use in other ways. So I think now government is providing some schemes or planning to give some schemes that will provide the amount that is used to cut that stubble and provide the stubble burning.
Supreme Court of India has ordered the Haryana government and the UP government to stop the residue burning that is done after the harvest season of the crops. Such like conditions have created the more of the air pollution during the Delhi NCR, and the Aam Aadmi Party has blamed the Haryana government for the air pollution happening around the Delhi NCR region and stated that the slash and burn techniques and the residue burn techniques done in the Haryana region are most of the critical regions that created air pollution in the Delhi NCR region. Now,
So
as
basically,
the
this is
Supreme
a
Court,
political issue. Everyone is blaming each other, as Pratyaksh said, that it is basically whenever the time of winter comes, the situation happens again and again, and the center and the state and the center government and the government of our state, that is India's government, start blaming each other about the situation, who is responsible for what, and basically Haryana blames the Delhi government, and the Delhi government blames the Haryana. But the issue right now we are discussing is about related to pollutants, so we will avoid these kind of issues to be discussed, which is related to political statements.
Yeah, government just blame each other and they didn't take the right decisions. Like firecrackers were banned during the Diwali season.
I want to addition to the steps taken by the Delhi government. Delhi government has taken a step of utilizing the government fund of 13 crore to make an artificial rain over the Delhi NCR region to protect the Delhi region from the further air pollution, as the air pollution over the Delhi NCR region causing the people to the death conditions, as people are not able to breathe properly and have a suffocating condition living in the Delhi NCR region. Delhi government has made certain steps, such like you have heard about the 1 week holidays. After that, the Diwali's holidays extra was given to the student so that they may have a proper life at their homes. They may not get suffocated or get affected by the condition applied in the Delhi due to air pollution. So they have given extra 1 week holidays after the Diwali. So the Delhi government also has made certain steps to overcome the harms of the air pollution that is spreading over the Delhi NCR region. In this way, the governments of different states are making the certain steps for overcoming this air pollution condition, and the culprits more are shoved down by the steps taken by the different governments. So the main complaint is of the air pollution happening in the Delhi NCR region have been stated, but the most of the outcomes of this are stated to be now that what are the outcomes that air pollution happening around the Delhi NCR region. So I will ask for the outcomes to be discussed now.
Yeah, so
Yeah, many steps can be
basically,
taken. Yeah,
yeah,
many
sure, yeah,
steps can
continue.
be taken to reduce the pollution. Like we should know how to manage the waste management also takes a very major role in increasing the pollutants and the pollution in Delhi NCR region. Further, afforestation can also be uh, increased so that the pollution trees can help to reduce pollution. We should during this time of October November or Diwali season, there should be restriction to the industrial waste. And also we can't blame completely to the government that government is not doing anything. Government can do, like cloud seeding is the way they think and they approaches for the increasing for decreasing the pollution. Yet this is an expensive process, but not expensive in the life of the citizens.
Yeah, so I want to broaden it out. We are talking about the pollution, and so I want to broaden it out that the cause and the outcomes of this thing, as we had discussed. So basically, we had discussed that the main factors which are causing this are stubble burning, vehicular pollution, industrial waste, crackers at the time of winter due to Diwali, and all these kind of things. And now I also want to point out the health issues which happens. When we are talking about air pollution, it affects the health according to your age. When a kid is born, at the moment when air pollution is too high, the amount of the organs which need to be developed after some time, those start to decay. And at some point, it happens that the amount, like when we are talking about alveoli, which are a part of our lungs, it also reduces the number of alveoli get reduced when we are talking about the premature kids and living which are living in this scenario. And it also affects the health of those which are affected by some diseases related to diabetes, or they have some respiratory diseases. And so it causes and it increases the chances of death because of these kind of factors. And it also happens that when we are talking about the air particles which are too small, they get carried out in the blood because the membrane is not that much broad, that much narrow, so that it can navigate those through our blood particles, and it also causes the organ deformation or decay. And so these kind of things happen. It is affecting the health. It is also affecting the other. It is not about only humans, it is also affecting the other animals. Like the amount of birds are also reducing, as we have seen that it was common in our past days that other animals were too prominent to be seen in these kind of areas, but now they are not visible. And there are also accidents, and the low level of visibility is also causing various projects to be stopped at this time. So it is also affecting the development of this area. And construction, which I left out, is also a major problem about this situation.
Yeah, Aman, I agree with you that construction is also the major part of air pollution. Like in Delhi, like regions, there is more need of residential areas and industrial areas. So in daily schedule, like more and more construction is used to happen. Like, and due to this, more and more dust and other particles will go to air, and this provide a layer of residue of like some other particles, and this may increase air pollution.
So yeah,
Yeah,
addressing the air pollution, it is a very crucial step in our day-to-day activities. So we have to use that as a friend, my friend says that construction activities leads to a very high impact on the air pollution. So we should promote the sustainable construction materials so that we can address this major problem very usefully and very sincerely.
Yeah, the major reason of pollution is stubble burning. So firstly, we need to understand that why farmer doesn't cut, and why does the farmer doesn't fully cut the crop and let the small amount of crop to be planted in the land only. The main reason is that before 2000s, the smoke and the pollution was not so prominent, because at that time people used to cut crops with hand, not with the machines. And so, by cutting crops with hands, the roots also come, so there were no residue at the land. So when the machine culture increased, machines start cutting the crop from above the ground levels, and the roots were left in the land only. Now new machines are invented such that they remove the crop from root, but still they are expensive, and government should give some subsidy so that the farmer can use it and the major cause of pollution can be stopped.
I also
my
support the
friend,
point of Roger.
government took some
There was
measures.
also an initiative,
Government gave subsidy to farmer for buying turbo happy seeder, which is a machine mounted on a tractor that cuts and uproots the stubble in order to reduce stubble burning. This is the measure taken by government to manage this. Beside this, government also took a step of increasing the number of BS4 vehicles and EVs, and also implemented odd even scheme many times to manage all the things. Also, many times the graded response action plan is also implemented to tackle the rising pollution in the NCR region. These were the
Yeah,
measures taken by.
yeah, banning of vehicle like BS3 petrol and BS4 diesel in NCR region is a step taken by government, but still it is not so effective, because the amount of vehicle running before pollution, before December, October, November season or Diwali season, those are same as moving after pollution also. So we can't say that by reducing the vehicle we can reduce pollution. Instead of this, we should understand that using of ethanol blended petrol or the biodiesel, we can help to get a much safer or environmental friendly fuel. Because let's say if someone bought a car of BS4 diesel, which was BS6 was implemented in India in 2020. Before that, if a people buy a car in 2019, it is a BS4 diesel. So it is like a it is like a waste of material and the resources that the person has bought, and now he can't travel his car, and if he uses his car he has to pay 20,000 fine, which is a very big amount. So only banning the vehicles or odd even system is not a very prominent way to reduce pollution.
So
We should be discussing for the what are the measures should be had been taken or should be taken to minimize the air pollution to be the in Delhi NCR region. So first thing that is most required for the Delhi NCR region pollution reduction is the awareness among the people. The main thing awareness is required among all the people that uh, that has happening around the Delhi festival region, that firecrackers works has been blown out and making the air pollution condition has right. But this is not the only reason. Most of the reason we have discussed. What the measure that should be taken? We should stop the use of coal and cool things in the hotels or household things that people are making use. Instead of they should switch to LPG. And such like my friend has discussed about the vehicles that are spread around the Delhi, it is crowded over with the vehicles. So instead of the petrol or diesel, we should switch to electrical vehicle system, which will also provide the sustainable way of living life in the Delhi. And some of
Yeah,
the
but
municipal solid waste are also being burnt in Delhi NCR region. As we have known about the Delhi NCR region have a boost based pyramids that is term used by the Delhi government, which should are warning, which is causing the air pollution around the Delhi NCR region, which should be prevented or be need some subsequent way to get rid of that. Some construction materials are also demobilized. Construction sites are creating the dust pollutants increase in the Delhi NCR region, due to which air pollution. The people at Delhi NCR region and Haryana region are facing many issues such like chronic headache and the irritation at the eyes and feeling the lack of vitamin D. So as air pollutant has created a layer of dust and pollutant around the sky, they are not getting a proper sunlight. So due to this they are lacking lack of vitamin D. They are taking artificial chemicals vitamin D, which will be not suitable for different people. So in this way the culprits we have discussed, which are causing the major effect on the people of Delhi and region and Haryana, which should be solved out.
yeah, I
Also,
totally
if
The air during the pollution contains many harmful gases too, like methane, carbon monoxide, volatile organic compounds, and carcinogenic polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Due to this, uh, the lungs are affected, and absolutely the environment is also affected.
Okay, so yeah, so basically we had talked about the factors and the diseases. Now we are talking about the solutions. So we already had told about the solutions which were taken by the Delhi government. Now I'm going to point out several solutions which can be done and which are based on some scientific principles and studies which were happened. So one of those is about the increasing the amount of trees. You know, when we are increasing the amount of trees, we are basically improving the basic ecology, which is increasing other animals and biodiversity. So it is basically increasing and making it better, the air. And we should talk about the better management plan. As you have seen, it is not all about the relation between the governments. It is also about how the government implements the plan, about the scheming in which the people are provided and the construction is done. People are provided with houses and different properties, and how this is done. So it should be in a limited amount, that the amount of houses has to be made in this region will be given this much amount, and no other houses can be built or no other properties can be built. This not only causes about air pollution, it also happens to, when there is flooding in the region. So it will also help to reduce the air pollution and the amount of construction activities. So we have to move towards the era of planning where we can control these kind of things. And when we were talking about the
also,
vehicular outputs, we should not only talk about the things like improving the vehicles. We should also talk about reducing the amount of vehicles by using public transports and reducing the habits of using the vehicles even for small distances, even for the small distances. And we should also talk about the EVs, that is electrical vehicles, which are becoming a uh, new trend of this era. And we should subsidize when we are buying these kind of vehicles, and we should promote the technology related to, there are several technologies which takes the pollutants from the air and convert it into a solid waste, and it is dumped inside the land. So it improves our air quality also, which was and which should be done by the Delhi government. And the amount was also given, but it is in the progress. We hope that it helps in the future.
but one
Safety must become a priority when it comes to tackling air pollution. We know that there is no better watchdog than active citizen. which is why the pollution targets must be made public every year for their pursuit and to be evaluated at the end of the year.
By
Also, in the
is
case of a stubble burning, what can government do in the stubble burning? So it can set a fixed price to buy from the farmers at uh, reasonable rates. And in the recently studies, it came out that the left out stubble or the residues of the crop, it can be used to generate power. It is a good source.
As we have discussed about the main culprit of air pollution over Delhi NCR region and Haryana, we find the reasons like stubble burning, Diwali firecracker works, more uses of petrol and diesel vehicles, demolition of the construction building. The main culprit is the lack of awareness among the concerned people about the effects of air pollution. So I would like to wind up all the stuffs and and each person's effort could make the rate of air pollution come down over Delhi and civilization by giving their small efforts for the society.